Pauhana Years, a new day for older Americans, a time for living. Your host, Bob Barker.
Hi, and welcome to the program for and by the senior citizens of Hawaii. Today on Pauhana Years, we're saluting a longtime friend of the program who is just retired, Eleanor Heavey.
On the shores of Maui Isles, there's a place called Kenai. It was there we stayed a while. We enjoyed Hawaiian life in the quietness, the peacefulness of Keanai. Mai ka mauna ke kai, ua ka awauhi, hai ai ka ua, e kani mai na leo mele, I ka maluia, ka olu olu, o ke ana. Mai kua iwi vehi vehi, ka he mai ki ka Hawaii, o he au I ka opai, e like me na ka ma'aina, I ka maluia, ka olu olu, o ke ana. This is land where taro grows, like the days of long ago. The Kupaoka'aina know that this life will all soon go. With the quietness, the peacefulness of Keanai. Aina ku'umele, eia mai I kumana'o, no ka pai o Keanai, e ola mau ko, piha me ka hau'oli, ka olu olu, o Keanai. And before my melody ends, let me add another line to all the folks in Kenai, that your life will always be filled with happiness, the peacefulness of Keanai. Aloha kanoana.
Kay and I. Eleanor, come and have a chair.
Thank you, Barker.
You've helped us on so many programs featuring retired folks, and now you've gone and done it yourself.
Yes, about time.
Would you introduce your friends for us?
It's a pleasure. Here, our only male is Charlie Chu. And next to Charlie is Aina Kiawe. Next to Aina Kiawe is Mayor Li'i Kalama. And Your Royal Highness that is standing right there is Adeline Lee, a wonderful vocalist.
Eleanor, you've been working with senior citizen clubs now for how many years?
I put in 5 years of part-time. Altogether, adding it all up gave me 23 years.
Mm-hmm. But before that, you worked with the park department in other capacities, did you? I mean, or with other groups?
Oh, yes, we started off, I started over at Mother Waldron's with boys and girls
Oh,
of that area.
youngsters, huh?
Yes,
Mhm.
and senior citizens was just brought into the islands about 10 years ago. Time is flying so fast.
Yes, yes.
And about 10 years. And then we had senior citizens popping all over the, at first the island people didn't quite grasp this senior citizen movement.
Uh-huh.
But now it is a thing.
Now, you were working with the youngsters, and then suddenly you changed to the elderly. What was there something in this decision? Was it your own decision, or
No.
did they ask you to?
No, I didn't expect it.
Uh-huh.
I was in Kailua, and of course there's a small group of 125 to 150. And I was the advisor of that group. And even at that, I didn't quite grasp senior citizen then. They played cards, so that was fine. And if they wanted any advice, I gave it to them. But it was when I came over to Makuali'i when the whole impact of senior citizen dawned on me.
Well, now, Eleanor, we have so much to talk about, and yet I want to hear as many of your songs as, that you've written as possible. The first one, Keanai, what was that about?
Ina Kiawe there and her brother and a few other forgotten about 5 of us. We took a vacation on Maui, and she had a very good friend, Mr. Manoa, that lived in Keanai. And there's no hotels there. There's little shacks and homestead places there. And we arrived there in the evening, and the ginger blossoms were in bloom from the mountain to the sea. They looked like little angels all over the place from the mountain to the sea. And we stayed in this little, it was an ex-army shack. And it was joy. And I loved everything about it. I loved the host, Mr. Manoa. And in a short while, I sat there. I felt the whole thing. And the thing is, Bacher, that the people of Keanai, whenever they see me, they think I'm from Maui, from Keanai, and no, that was my first visit. And says, well, how come you, a Malihini, can express our feeling?
In that
you
song.
know, well, I felt it. I enjoyed it and I felt it.
Good. Well, now let's have another of your compositions. What will it be?
How would you like to hear Nani Waimanalo?
Very good. Nani Waimanalo.
Iko
Nani Waimanalo. Eleanor, you were born, or rather you live in Waimanalo, don't you?
For 28 years.
Uh-huh. But where were you born?
I was born in Kaka'ako. That is gradually fading away.
There really is not much of Kaka'ako left, is there?
All industrial district
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And there were quite a lot of people living there. For a long, long time.
What was your childhood like? Was it a fun time?
To me, it was fun, although Mama had a bad time with me.
You mean you were a rascal?
I think I always was rascal.
You're still a rascal
Still
today.
rascal. She said, don't go swimming, don't go surfing, and I was down there.
Uh-huh.
So that was my life. I lived right close to the ocean.
So you did a lot of that.
I
huh?
did a lot of that. Fishing, which is one of my favorite pastime.
Uh-huh.
Catching opai, catching limu.
What was Kaka'ako and Honolulu like then? Certainly far
Well-
different than now.
Oh, yes, definitely. We had all homes there, and we had Japanese lived in Japanese camps. The Chinese were the merchants.
Mm-hmm.
They owned the bakeries and the butchers, and the Portuguese were landowners, actually, in Kaka'ako. And the Hawaiians, took it for granted that they can live anywhere. It was really under the Bishop Estate. Most of that place up there in Kaka'ako was under the Bishop Estate.
Mm-hmm.
And so we lived there. Oh, it's such a long story, and it's a beautiful story.
Mhm.
And we mixed. It was rough. They said it was a rough district. But I didn't see too much of that.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I have 2 brothers and 8 sisters.
8 sisters.
We lost
Oh.
2 brothers. Otherwise, we would have had 4 brothers and
You
8
didn't
sisters.
get lonely then, did you?
It's impossible to be lonely. You don't even have your own privacy.
What were the schools like then?
We had Polkanya School there, and long after that we had, they started an opportunity school for kids who didn't, was not able to read and write. That came long after.
Mm-hmm.
I finished Polkanya, I went over to Royal, I spent 3 months in McKinley and dropped out.
Mm.
And from there on, I just picked up whatever I could learn. With plenty of kids, you just can't continue school. You just, it was either you eat or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So we dropped school. I dropped out of school. The rest of my family continued, finished high school, and but I never stopped learning.
Were you the oldest?
I'm the number one.
You're the number one.
And my Hawaiian name is Nahiapo, which means number one,
Oh, it did?
Yes.
Oh, I
named
see.
after my grandmother.
Uh-huh. Well, now, how about another number for us? I see you have the auto harp. You play the piano, the auto harp,
Auto
the
harp,
ukulele.
anything I can. Oh, I love all kinds of
All kinds,
instruments,
uh-huh.
and I try to play
Uh-huh.
them.
Uh-huh.
Not perfectly, but I'm able to manage it.
Uh-huh.
Now with the auto harp, this next number that's coming up is called Puanani.
Puanani.
Most of the songs that I have composed were made for children,
Oh.
and this one is also for children.
Child's
And
song.
Ina Kiave here, who was in charge of the junior nature science department, we every now and then she'd say, "Hey, come on, help me out with this, with a number
Oh,
that connects with this project." Then I would whip it up.
I see. So now we're going to have Puanani on the
Puanani.
auto harp.
Puanani, Puanani, blooming in my garden. In the morning and in the evening, Puanani pleases me. They're always lovely to see. Allah, oh na, softly sending a message telling your presence in the air. For Allah, you're everywhere. Anakapuana K-E-M-L-A No Napua O Hawaii K-E-K-K-E-K-A-Pu Ina Ia-mai Anakapuana K-E-M-L-A No Napua O Hawaii K-E-K-E-K-A-Pu O Hawaii No Hawaii
Oh, that's a beautiful song. Beautiful. Eleanor, you mentioned dropping out of school early. What kind of, I presume you went to work. You dropped out of school to go to work. Was that it?
Yes.
To earn money.
Yes.
What kind of jobs did you get into then?
Oh, Barker. Hawaiian Pine was looking for night workers. I was only 13 years old. And they were sending out recruiters.
Ah.
So I lied about my age. I was only 13, and I got the job. Well, 13 is still growing up. I thought I
Yeah.
was a big girl.
Oh, sure.
And the second night, I couldn't open my eyes, but I stayed on for a whole month and got a whole month wages. That this recruiter got a bonus for it. See, whoever she picks up and will stick out for a month gets a bonus. Well, I didn't know this. And the four ladies those days were very kind. And they would send us upstairs to the dressing room to rest for about 10, 15. And lots of 13-year-old kids were working. Then by the time they found out that I was 13, I had earned 1 month's wages, which was pretty good. And Mama was always happy when we brought in money and to look after all the kids. See?
Well, did they have to let you go then when they found out you were 13
Oh, yeah.
after 1 month?
Oh, yeah. But half of the time I was going upstairs to sleep, and I didn't feel like I was cheating. And they paid us off all in silver dollars.
Oh, silver dollars.
Silver dollars. You don't see that anymore.
That feels like more than a paper dollar, doesn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I worked there for off and on. When I was 19, I got married and raised my kids. And then I had to earn some money and went back to the Hawaiian Pine, got my job back, got to be a forelady, and enjoyed every bit of it.
How
And
many
then a
children
walk
did you
came up.
have?
2 girls and a boy.
2 girls and a
Then
boy.
I have 6 grandchildren, 2
Oh.
boys and 4 girls. For a while, we thought we weren't going to have boys. Then 2 boys arrived, and they're the rascals.
Well, now, you've done quite a bit of entertaining. You entertained professionally, too, didn't you?
At one time, I was doing comic hula, almost the same time with Hilo Hattie.
Oh, you were?
Yes. And they always call me the poor man's Hilo Hattie.
Well, when World War II came along, then you went into a different kind of work, didn't you?
Yes. I took a vacation from the Hawaiian Pineapple Company, and then all of a sudden it started bombing on the island. I said I wasn't going back to Hawaiian Pine because all the gas companies were right around the Hawaiian Pine. You know, all kind of imagination that the whole thing was going to go up. And in about 3 months, when things began to cool down, they were calling in workers, and I went in and I took aviation mechanic. They were paying us 79 cents an hour just to learn. And that was good money those days. Because even as a forelady, I was only earning 34, 35 cents an hour at a Hawaiian Pine. So when the war came on and things cooled down, everything kind of came back to normal. Not exactly. It was a horrible time. Hawaii was just a new country, a new island. Everything was new. I don't think the people in the mainland realize this. Oh, and by the way, I went to Japan, and I met this fellow, very, very nice Christian fellow, and he was surprised to know that we were going through this rationing and blackouts and all that, because they were going through the same thing. And I said, oh, yes, we went through all of these things. And so I took a job as an apprentice at the, this was right close where this college is going on now.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Well,
And they were
as
paying
a
us.
mechanic, as an aviation mechanic?
Aviation. And when I
What
say,
did you do?
Yeah, when I say aviation mechanic, everybody has the idea I'm going to fix the whole engine.
Yes,
But no such
build
thing.
the plane.
Right. That you have that picture, but it isn't. It's little parts of the engine. It's celluloids, fuel pumps, carburetors, and the spark plug girls were considered the lowest in our outfit.
Oh, the spark plug
We
girls.
were the fuel pump.
You were the-
Yeah, lots of the Mr. Wright, who was one of my foremen at Fort Island, he is still here. He lives, in fact, I see him at the Elks Club every now and then, and we always laugh about it. We had about 15 kids. Each island sent in about three boys, and another Korean girl and I were the only, no, three, another Hawaiian girl, were the only girls that were learning to be aviation. And
Well, now this was a pretty
mechanic.
scary time in Hawaii,
very
wasn't
frightening.
it? Did you have any personal experiences that at this time in regard to the?
No, all we did, every one of us stayed in our homes at sundown. Everything was blacked out, and everybody was suspicious of everybody else in the neighborhood. You didn't dare walk out, and it was always funny how you never noticed it before, that it was just pitch black, just pitch black. You couldn't see 5 feet ahead of you. So any moving object would be clubbed to death.
Yes, yes.
So we stayed indoors. And then about 3 months, 4 months after that, it was let a little easier for us. We used blue lights on our headlights. That we were permitted to travel on the road with blue lights, and you can hardly see with blue lights. Then later on, they changed it to a little lighter one. And then I worked on Ford Island for 2 years, going back and forth on the ferry. And later I loafed. I bought bonds, about $5,000 worth of bonds,
While you were doing war
while I
work.
was doing war work. And then I loafed for a whole year, entertaining here and there, and loafed on my 5,000. And then after that, I saw an ad in a paper where it says recreation leader wanted part-time. I said, well, this is it probably. So I went to get it, and I didn't take it seriously at the time. But when I saw the children in Kaka'ako coming in and needing a leader,
Yes.
immediately I made up my mind, and which took about 6 months before I realized that really a leader was needed in Kaka'ako. And from that time on, I turned. I either be a leader or get out of it, and had a joyful time.
And that's when you joined the City Parks Department
Right.
Recreation Program.
Right. From that time on, I stayed on and was never sorry,
Yeah.
from one job to another.
Well, Eleanor, there's much more to talk about, and I want to hear more songs, but our time is running out. Would you come back in a month for another session?
Beautiful.
Wonderful. Okay. Now, before we close today, we want to see you do a hula.
Yes.
What will you do?
My favorite is Anui Nui, or the Rainbow.
That's your composition
That's my
also?
composition. Every one of the songs we're singing this morning are my compositions.
All
And I
right.
hope everybody loves to listen to them.
Eleanor
and,
Heavey, dancing Anue Nue.
All right.
Oh,
Lovely, lovely. Eleanor, thanks so much, and we'll see you in a month. This is Bob Barker leaving you with this thought. To be of service is a solid foundation for contentment in this world.
Deep in December, it's nice to remember, although you know the snow will follow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember, without a hurt, the heart is hollow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember the fire of September that made us mellow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember, and for